Well, I asked you guys if you wanted to see our predictions about episode 6 of season 2, and you guys overwhelmingly said yes. So, here it is. Welcome to the Snipe Life, where we look at creativity through the lens of Christianity, and mostly The Chosen nowadays. We're going to be looking through the trailers from Season 2, and the specific trailer for Episode 6 that was released on Instagram and Facebook. And we're going to be kind of dissecting what we can expect to see from Episode 6. There are a few different types of trailers that they released with different footage in each, and they actually just released a specific trailer for Episode 6. So I've got a few points to show you, and I think we're going to see some very interesting stuff coming up in Episode 6. So first, obviously, at the end of Episode 5, we saw that Jesus sent Matthew and Simon Peter to go look for Mary after she had wandered off. Now we know that Mary is in the city of Jericho. Where exactly? We're not sure. So I think a big chunk of this episode is going to be people kind of worrying about Mary, and obviously Matthew and Simon Peter finding her. So first we have this screenshot of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Rhema, and obviously they're having some sort of discussion. I think Mary is going to really turn out to be some sort of mother figure to all of the disciples, especially the women of the group though. I think especially during this scene with Rhema, we're going to see as Rhema really leans on her to have a little bit more of an understanding and maybe help her to trust Jesus a little bit more. Next, we see this scene with Matthew and Simon Peter. We see a small interaction with them, kind of talking through how they're going to find Mary. And it's interesting. Matthew pulls out a map and he begins to kind of come up with this plan, telling Simon that they need to split up and they need to continue to look for Mary. Now, in the cut right after this, it switches to this, the other side of the conversation, where Matthew is pointing down at the map and he's looking up at Simon Peter. Now, there's a couple things that are really interesting here. First, this is the first time that we've ever seen Matthew in this state of disarray. He is not wearing his nice clothes, he's all tattered up, his hair is a mess, and he is not looking like the wealthy, rich person that we know him to be throughout all the other episodes. He is extremely flustered. And we can tell that here just by how he's dressed and how he's kind of acting through this whole thing. Also, we see Simon Peter in this scene. And specifically, we see what he's saying at the bottom of the screen. He's saying to Matthew, Jesus wants you back in one piece. I think this may be the first time that Simon Peter has ever been worried about Matthew in some way. Maybe Matthew is starting to act erratically, or maybe he's starting to get too anxious about this whole situation. And Simon Peter's trying to calm him down here. I'm sure we're going to see lots of moments with the both of them fighting back and forth and even some funny moments. It's definitely going to be an interesting point for their relationship in general, because we know that they're going to have to reconcile, especially from episode 3, where Peter lashed out at Matthew. One more small point is we see that Simon Peter has hay all over his back. Either he's gotten into some sort of tussle, or maybe they were just sleeping on hay the night before, as they were trying to get through the city and find Mary. Now, as Matthew and Simon Peter are searching for Mary, I think it'll be interesting to see if Matthew's feelings for Mary start to come out more and more. It'll be interesting to see how this affects Peter as well. Does he pick up on this? Is he going to start missing Eden? And is that going to play a role in some of the other stuff that's going on in this episode? Who knows? Next, we know that Mary is going to be found. We've seen several different clips, and I'll show you a whole bunch of them here, where Mary is going to be found in this episode. And hopefully she'll be reconciled with Jesus as well, which I believe that she will. We see here in this frame as Mary is looking up towards who seems to be Matthew. He has his nice coat back on, and he's in the city somewhere. Now, if Mary goes with them immediately, we don't know. There's going to be a whole journey there, and it's going to be an amazing episode. Within both of the trailers for season 2, we see the same scene, where Jesus is looking at Mary and hugging her. And now, with more context throughout the season of episode 5, we can tell that definitely Mary is going to be reconciled with Jesus. And I think that's going to be in this episode, probably near the end. Now, I believe that Mary will come back to the group in this episode as well. We've seen a couple different scenes where Peter has come back to the group, and in the background, you can see, if you look close enough, Mary is actually standing there with Mother Mary and Rhema. This is as Peter's having a different conversation with John and Big James. Now, at first, I wasn't sure if this scene was going to be in episode 6 or episode 7, but then we kind of got confirmation that it's going to be in episode 6 at a later point, and so I'll show you that in a little bit. Another clip directly from episode 6's trailer, we can see as the disciples and Jesus are walking, and Jesus is talking to the disciples, and it has nothing to do with Mary, but in the background, if you look very, very closely, you can see Mary in the very back of the group. So even though some of this relationship might be a little bit broken, we do see that Mary is re-entering the group, and they are loving on her. Another interesting thing that we see from the trailer from episode 6 is Thomas saying that this is literally our last meal, and he's talking about some lentils that they have left over. Is the group running out of supplies, maybe? Did Mary take their money? I know that she took some of their money. I didn't know if she took all of it. And so maybe the group is kind of running low on things. And Thomas, the ever doubter warrior, right? He's obviously logically starting to worry about what are they going to do for their next meal. And this is an interesting thing that I think all the disciples are going to have to go through. How do you begin to trust Jesus with everything? Even if you don't have the solution in front of you, how do you continue to love and trust Jesus no matter what? It's going to be interesting to watch Thomas learn this lesson. Another small point, we are going to see the Pharisees again in this episode. It looks as if Shmuel is kind of downcast. Maybe what they were trying to do in episode 5 didn't work out. And then in episode 6, they're going to try something new. And so Yanni, who we met in episode 4, is basically saying, no, we're just getting started. We're just going to do something else. We're going to change the plan up or something else is happening, or we're going to continue this plan in a new way. Whatever it is, we're definitely going to see them and some more of their kind of scheme to deal with this Jesus guy. Now in episode 5, we saw as John the Baptist went off to go confront the Tetrarch, right? And we knew that this is going to be the place where John the Baptist eventually dies. And so this is going to be the last time that we see John the Baptist get arrested. And we see that in episode 6's trailer as well. It's very clear. They say John the Baptizer was taken into custody today. Now this scene right here is what clarifies the earlier clips that we had of Mary being back with the group, because this is specifically from episode 6's trailer. But we also see that same scene where Simon Peter is back with the group. He's talking with John and Big James. And so we can kind of pinpoint this location of this scene. We also get this clip from the season 2 trailer where John the Baptist is literally being arrested in front of Romans. And the last thing that I'm going to predict will happen in episode 6 is that Eden is going to come back right near the end of the episode. So Simon Peter is finally back with everybody. They're talking about John the Baptist being arrested. Mary is finally back with the group. But I think in the midst of all of this, somehow Eden is going to become a part of it. I'm not sure what her role is necessarily going to be. Maybe she just begins to follow Jesus with Peter and everybody else. Maybe she's bringing supplies to them because they're running low. I don't know. But obviously, I love the character of Eden. I'm glad that she gets to come back in some way, so it'll be really cool to see her again. Now, obviously, I can't tell you exactly what this episode is going to be about or what's happening here, but these are my best predictions just from what I've seen in the trailers and what I've heard from Dallas and some of the other people. So I hope you're as excited as I am for episode 6. It's going to be on Wednesday night. And yeah, we'll see you guys there. We're going to be doing a live stream before and after the episode. So if you guys want to hang out with us, we'd love to hang out with you. And we've got a kind of a new setup here. So if you guys want to check out that and hang out with us, just talk to us about the episode. We'd love to have you there. So thanks for watching this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed my predictions. And thanks for being part of our community. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.